And I think we're live. Are we, though? We'll see. In the meantime, let me pull this up. Oop. Forgot to do that. Do that. I always forget things when I first start a stream. So, go to my channel here and notify Patreon. There we go. So, and then greetings from Bonnie, Scotland. Hello. Oh wait, no. I don't want to do that. I want to do a live stream link. And paste it. And then we'll do that. And just publish it. There we go. That should be good. All right, what's up, everybody? There we go. Salve Grumio. What's up, Steven? Showboat, what's going on? Oh, wow. Super chat that fast. Thank you, Claire. Hopefully, my guy is on the job so he can read it out for you. Hey, Muppet, when are you going to watch Only Fools and Horses? I've been watching Only Fools and Horses on Patreon. I'm on season 6 right now. So there's a lot of Only Fools and Horses reactions on Patreon. Unfortunately, they always get blocked on YouTube, so I don't even try to attempt to upload them to YouTube anymore. How many beers has your dog drunk in the background? He's out cold. She hasn't drank any. She's just had, she had an exciting morning. So she's taking a nap. I put a noise gate on the sound too, Mr. Penis. So it only captures whenever I talk. Because I've got the AC going pretty hard behind me. It's actually, for February, it's a pretty hot day here in Florida. There we go.
Hello to our one and only favorite Muppet.
Hello to you, Claire. Thank you for the super chat. It's very kind. The family's doing good. What's going on with you guys? Anything exciting happening on your side of the world? Hello, Scarlett. You Muppet. What's going on? Have you reacted to Dairy Girls? Not yet. Not yet. Showboat, you were sacked last Sunday, 10 days into your new job. That's not good. What did you do? Or did they just pick you up for a week and was like, thanks, and that's the end of that? Good to hear Stephen Hawking on the Super Chat voice. Apparently Stephen Hawking was a wild dude. If you guys stay updated with the news. You might have another prime minister in a week? Really? The I can't say his name. But that one dude fucked up so bad. I feel like you guys You guys get a new prime minister every other month. When are you going to continue Friday night dinner? The rest of the Friday night dinner's reactions were blocked on YouTube. I finished off Friday night dinner on Patreon about 3 months ago. I still get questions. I don't know, like, I put up community posts, I mentioned it in intros, and people still ask me, like, when are you going to finish this? And where's this particular reaction? They keep getting blocked. The only reactions I keep getting, I managed to get up on the channel now, are IT Crowd and Plebs. And I even had a Plebs reaction blocked a couple weeks ago. They want to introduce conscription in the UK. Do you mean like conscription into the army? That's pretty wild. Who are you fighting? Who are you fighting that you need to redeploy conscription? Are you watching anything good in your private life you could recommend to us Muppets? Anything on Netflix? Not really. I watched the Ricky Gervais and the Dave Chappelle stand-ups recently, which were pretty good. I don't know. I'll tell you what, like, I'm about to rewatch The Bodyguard. Have you guys ever watched... It's either The Bodyguard or Bodyguard. It stars Richard Madden. And it takes place in London. And it was wild. I actually really enjoyed that, so I'm probably going to rewatch that on my own. And it was a crazy show, and it was good. So maybe, and for all of you UK followers, it takes place there. Pretty well acted. I thought it was good. The jersey, this is my new jersey, Buccaneers. Probably the best jersey I've ever gotten. This is like an actual, like, I need to do steroids to fill it out, but it's a very, very nice jersey. I got it for myself as a Christmas present, but it just arrived. So it arrived a month later. Scarlet, yeah. Yeah. I never really got into hockey. Have you watched Still Game yet? Yeah, I watched the first 3 episodes and I didn't care for it that much. Richard Madden for new James Bond. Never thought of him. I was about to say he's probably too small, but I mean, he just had Daniel Craig, who's not a big guy. I mean, he's stocky, but I don't know. Richard Madden for James Bond. That's an interesting idea. Jimbo, what's going on? Glad you stopped by for the last 2 Twitch streams I did. Doug Farrington, what are you eating tonight? I don't know. I still have to figure that one out. Simon says, how's the weight loss going? It's going not bad. I've lost 10 pounds so far. So I've been working out for 3 weeks, maybe 3.5 now. And I've already lost 10 pounds. So it's going pretty good. And most of it's come out of my gut, which is the main place that I'm trying to change on my body. So Tom Hardy has to be the new James Bond. Look, I'm the biggest Tom Hardy fan, but I don't know, man. with James Bond, like, I'm not too keen on the idea of someone like a super famous actor playing James Bond. Like, I like it when they go for like someone who's proven to be a good actor, but they're also not like a major star. You know what I mean? Or Tom Hardy's like a major star. And you're going to look at him playing James Bond and be like, oh, well, that's Tom Hardy. You're not going to be like, that's James Bond. You know what I mean? And trust me, I'm the biggest Tom Hardy fan. I've seen like all of his movies. He's probably one of my top 5 favorite actors. Are you ever going to visit Britain and try authentic British pub food? Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to do it. I'm aiming for the fall. But we'll see. Cuz me and Queen Boomer are we got our hands full right now. Henry Cavill. He might be a good James Bond. I always see like Henry Cavill and Tom Hardy thrown out there and Idris Elba as James Bond. Which I think Idris Elba could have been great if he was Bond like 10 years ago. I think he's way too old now. And Pierce Brosnan, yeah, you know Pierce Brosnan is my favorite. Two Doors Down and Scott Squad? I've never heard of Scott Squad. What's the workout routine? You know, I don't have a strict routine. I mostly just do cardio and ab stuff. With the weights, I do weights sometimes, but I'm not doing like heavy stuff. But mainly, I just do cardio. I run. I get on a bike. I do a lot of ab stuff because I'm mainly trying to get rid of this gut. Um, but it seems to be working so far. I just got to keep up with it. So I've lost 10 pounds. I'm trying to lose like about 30, so I got 20 more to go. Zendaya as Jane Bond. And they seem to like today. They seem to be like not just with the men, but with the women too. They're making like, well, hold on.
Hey Boomer, I think you'd really like UK's Bird and Blend Tea Company. Falling Leaf.
Oh, a new tea I gotta try. Thank you, Claire. Appreciate the super chat. That's very kind. New tea I gotta try. Okay. I'm game for that. Are you eating healthy too or just working out? I'm eating healthier. I'm not watching calories or, you know, making sure I eat certain types of foods, but I'm cutting out a lot of the junk food. I don't eat candy anymore or snacks, things of that nature. And I've tried to cut down on the amount of bread that I eat because, you know, I've always loved bread, but I'm trying to not eat as much. But other than that, I'm not doing anything strict. So. But yeah, I was gonna say that it seems like in movies, like the lead guys and the lead ladies, they're getting like smaller and smaller. It seems like, you know, like what's that dude's name that was in Dune? Timothy Chalamet, or I can't pronounce his last name, but who I really like. I loved him in The King. But that is a small, skinny dude. But you know, he pulls it off. And Zendaya is small and skinny as well. And you know, you got them playing these like, you know, roles where they're doing a lot of action scenes and beating people up and you know, somebody that small, it's like you see them kicking everyone's ass and it's like, yeah, I don't know if I believe that. But as long as the performance is good, they can get away with it. Da 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 da. So a new prime minister you guys are gonna have, huh? That's pretty wild. It seems like every other month you got a new one. What did this one do? What did this one do that was so bad? I've actually got some kind of respect for Liz Truss, because like after a few days she was like, fuck this, I'm out. This is too crazy. Double dip. Thoughts on the Vince McMahon allegations? Oh my god! Yeah, I just got done. Well, actually, I haven't listened to it all, but there's like a 44-minute video that Jim Cornette put out on from his podcast, and I've listened to half of it, and wow, I have a hard time believing that the details of those allegations are true, but I mean, we'll see. But goddamn. Yeah, Jane's going crazy. Hello, Jane. Hi. Give your daddy a kiss. Come here. Yeah. Easy on the jersey. I just got this. You'll have Trump back soon. We'll see. We'll see. I don't like either of our political parties here. I hate both of them. I wish we had a third party that gained traction so it could keep the other two parties honest. But it looks like that'll never happen. When is your next Twitch stream? I stream on Twitch every Thursday now. I did the last 2 Thursdays. I'm making it a regular thing on Thursday. So Thursdays I stream on Twitch. Usually around anywhere from like 12. I start from anywhere from 12 to 2 is when I start it. So in the UK that would be like anywhere from 5 to 7 p.m. or 17 to 19 GMT, or however you guys do it over there. What about the new blonde guy in Plebs? I'm still giving him, like, I mean, I'm not too fond of him, but I'm still giving him a chance. He ain't Stylax, though. I mean, it's hard to get into him when, you know, me personally, Stylax was my favorite. And now he's gone. So. But it's still a funny show. It's I don't think it's really fell off or anything. Maybe it's not as good as the first 3 seasons, but it's still good to me. Have you seen the whole Cat Williams video? Yes. Yes. I was literally listening to that in bed. And some of the shit was making me die of laughter. King Boomer, what are you actually live streaming for? Because I can, Green Flock. Because I can. Because sometimes I like to chat with you guys, that's why. Rocky, hi Brian, how is the family? The family's doing good, thanks Rocky. You could keep speaking, please. Well, yeah, like, I got the, what is this filter called? Let me see. Search Noise Gate. Yeah, so it only activates when I talk. Because otherwise you'd hear a from the AC behind me. Just trying it out. I can turn it off if it's really that bad. Your opinion on Benidorm now? Not good. Not good. I was debating whether to just stop it now. I said I would do one more, and if it's not good, then I'll stop. But, Craig, Truss tanked the UK economy in record time, then fucked off. How is it record time? Wasn't she prime minister for like 72 hours? How long was she, like, the actual prime minister of the UK? How long? Like, what's the official amount of time that she was prime minister? I have to know, because that was, like, one of the shortest reigns I've ever seen. Showboat, I'm convinced I will go to Brian's Patreon because he has a Red Dwarf. Yeah, I got Red Dwarf reactions, Only Fools and Horses, Faulty Towers. What else I got on there that doesn't go to, that I can't get up on YouTube? The rest of the Peep Show reactions, because they're all getting blocked. The Benidorm reactions that haven't made YouTube. The first 2 seasons of Bottom I've done on Patreon. So yeah, there's a ton of reactions on there that I can't put on YouTube, so which is why I made the Patreon in the first place. 43 days, 50 days, 45, 44. We need a final answer here. "50 days," says Scarlett. I believe Scarlett because she said she did the research. Yeah, Benedict. I mean, look, I love the first 2 seasons of Benidorm, but once they extended the time and turned it into a soap opera, in my opinion, it really tanked. Will you ever react to Blackadder Goes Forth? I probably will react to Blackadder the show at one point. There's also on Patreon. I also do. I've done some Top Gear special reactions. There's a bunch of movie reactions that I haven't edited for YouTube yet. With the time that I have, I'm not sure if I ever will get around to it. Here, I'll pull it up on my end and tell you what I have on there. Let's go to the collections page. Okay, so Top Gear special reactions, Father Ted reactions, starting with season 2. Plebs reactions, IT Crowd, Friday Night Dinner, Idiot Abroad, Bottom, Man Down, Benidorm, Red Dwarf, Faulty Towers, Peep Show, Only Fools and Horses, and a bunch of movie reactions. 37 in total. So. And Red Dwarf and Only Fools and Horses, I'm on season 6. We finished Friday Night Dinner. We're about to finish Man Down and Peep Show. We only got 1 episode left of each. Faulty Towers. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on there. That Harry Brown one you did was very dark. Yeah, that was a really dark movie. I didn't think it was going to be that dark. 50 days later, says so. Craig confirmed Scarlett's research of 50 days as prime minister. That is very sure. I thought it was like a couple days. It goes to show you what I know. You glad you did Patreon now because I know you're against it originally? Yeah, I am glad I did it. At the time when I did it though, I didn't have much to put on there. But you know, it's because all of a sudden it became so difficult to get show reactions on YouTube. Like Patreon was like the perfect place to do it, and it's not the perfect you know, app or program, whatever you want to call it. YouTube's still better in terms of like how you use it. Patreon still needs some work, but it's good. Please watch Misfits. I've got tons of recommendations that are literally like probably 27 pages long at this point, so it's if I don't get around to a show that you've requested, I'm sorry. Rome was not built in a day. No, it was built in an hour. King Boomer, shouldn't you not do live streaming and help out the neighborhood in some way? That means you're a helpful person with the community. What does that mean? I don't know what you mean by that. We should fight them on the streets. We should fight them on the landing crafts. We shall fight them on the beach, on the pitches. Thank you, Josh. I can't do Churchill's speech. The one I could kind of impersonate is Roosevelt's when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. December 7th, 1941. A date which will live in infamy. I know. You want to go out there? All right. Give me 1 sec. Come on. Come on. Jane's gone. New Prime Minister will be Scottish. Oh, shit. That'll be interesting. Oh, yeah, King Boomer. Just end the stream and sweep the fucking streets. Well, I don't know what he meant by what he said. I don't know where he's going with that. The actor who played Dougal on Father Ted is a Leeds United fan. So you know, King Boomer, the club we wanted you to follow, too. Yeah, I had a lot of Leeds fans recruiting me. But I'm not picking a team. So I don't want to start a fight. Whoever I pick, everybody else is going to be mad. You know. And to be honest, why would I pick a team when I don't really watch football? I would love to go to a game, though. And I wouldn't care who's playing who. I would just love to check out the atmosphere. Going to a game over there. We should all meet up and have a big old game of baseball. That would be dope. That would be dope. I'd definitely be the best player, though. There's not many baseball players in the UK. I can still hit the shit out of the ball, too. It's quite telling that people would do anything for money. Use your hands to build something for someone for free. Or don't you Americans even think about your neighbors? What the fuck are you talking about, Green Flock? Why don't you get off the live stream and go help one of your neighbors instead of lecturing me about it? How about that? And as far as doing anything for money, I've had hundreds of promotions offered to me, and I haven't taken a single one of them. So you're barking up the wrong tree, pal. Rounders. Isn't that what you call baseball over there? Oh, thank you, Irox. Even though you don't particularly like Benidorm anymore. That's the key word, anymore, Joe. I forgot until today that Jim from Friday Night Dinner is in the final 2 series. Is he? I don't think I'm going to get around to that. Del Boy calls baseball silly boys around it. Does he? One of the greatest characters ever, Del Boy. I really, you know what? After all this time watching Only Fools and Horses, I really like Rodney. I think Rodney is just a sweetheart of a guy. G City is the best team in the world. Says Scarlet. I'll take your word for it. Baseball originated from rounders. When was rounders invented? I need a date for this, because I have a hard time believing that one, Mouse. I need a date for the invention of rounders. So I know baseball was invented in the States like right before the Civil War. I think it was 1854. So. Musso Dean, I hope Billy Elliot gets voted in as your next film to react to. You'll love it. I've actually thought about doing that on my own very soon. So you might see it before I even put a vote up. I don't like putting votes up on movie reaction votes up on Patreon anymore because every time I do, everybody's like, what the fuck, man? All these movies suck. So I kind of just get a general idea now of suggestions for movie reactions, and I see what people thumbs up, and I kind of go with it from there. Because every time I put a poll up, it's just complaints, complaints, complaints. You know.
Comedy Connections is a little-known documentary series. Each episode explores lots of different British comedies in an accessible, fun style. A must.
All right. Well, thank you, James Pepper, for the super chat. Comedy Connections. Each episode explores lots of different British comedies. But if I haven't seen them, I shouldn't watch it, right? Like, say if they highlight a particular series that I haven't seen or something like that, you know? It would kind of spoil it for me, wouldn't it? You know, but thank you for the super chat, James. And it's good to see you as well. Long-time follower, James Pepper. Boomer, prepare for a super chat. Scarlet, you're too kind. You are way too kind to me. Craig played in England since Tudor times. Is it the same game, though? Is it the same game? Musso Dean says, I watch you and JPS. Have you chatted to him? I've talked to him before, yeah. Nice young kid. I haven't talked to him recently. I talked to him like a couple times over the summer. I tried to get him on one of these live streams once, but he said he'd get back to me, and he never did. Not knocking him. He's probably a busy guy. But I like JPS. He seems like a cool kid. I mean, he's a man, but you know, he's a young man. I feel like I'm talking about him like he's my son or something. Plus, I've noticed that because we were like kind of like neck and neck when it comes to subscribers, and he's pulled ahead of me. So he must be doing something right. Maybe I need to talk to him again and ask him what his secret is. Don't you know, King Boomer? We invented almost everything. Yeah. All the modern stuff, yes. Sam Deans, what's happening? King Boomer, how's it going? Give me back my son! Thank you for that. Damn, okay. It's that from Craig's description. It sounds like Rounders is baseball, so I stand corrected apparently. I feel like a hardcore baseball fan, which, you know, even though I played baseball, I'm not like hardcore baseball fan, but I do love baseball. But if you told that to somebody who was like, baseball is the most American thing ever invented, and told them that you guys invented it, their heads would probably explode. They probably wouldn't be able to handle it. Animal House. I felt sorry for JPS for daring, in quotations, say that Birmingham was a bit of a dump. He ended up on UK local news because of it. Yeah, I heard about it. I think it was somebody notified me of that in an Instagram message, and I read it. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on? And yeah, apparently he pissed off a lot of people from Birmingham. I talked about it before. I put it to he's just a young kid. He didn't know any better, and he might have wandered in the wrong part of town and didn't do enough research of places to avoid. Which, you know, in comparison to Birmingham, like my city that I lived in. I'm not particularly from there, but it's in my home state. I consider it my home city, Baltimore, which I usually don't recommend people visit Baltimore because there's a lot of places in there that are rough. And if you did go to Baltimore, my first recommendation would be to not stray from the inner harbor, because if you venture out, you're going to wander into a place that's rough and is crime ridden, and it can be quite dangerous, honestly. So maybe he didn't do that before he went there, and he wandered into a place where he got scared. I mean, but you know, he's just a young kid, and he's probably, you know, he's probably not used to traveling, and you know. It seemed like, because I watched a couple of his videos where he traveled in the UK, and it seems like he just walked around to like all sorts of type of places without really, like, you know, having an itinerary of like scheduling, like, oh, I'm gonna go here at this time, I'm gonna go here at this time. You know what I mean? So, but I don't think he. I don't. This here's the thing. I don't think he went over there and he was, before he even stepped foot off the plane, he was like, I can't wait to shit on Birmingham. No, he probably just went into an area that was a little rough and he got scared or something. I don't know. King Boomer was born in Baltimore. No, Baltimore. We said that's my Baltimore accent coming out in the in Maryland. We say Baltimore with a D. It's BALTA. No, BALTIMORE. I almost spelled it wrong and looked like a total muppet. But it's with a T. Baltimore with a T. Baltimore. But if you have the Maryland accent, say Baltimore, and you say it like it has a D instead of a T. It's a very obscure accent that even if you're American, it would be very hard to pick up on unless you were from Maryland. So, Baltimore. Yeah, Steve, kind of like that, Steven. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like that. I put an A instead of an O in the beginning, but it pretty much kind of like that. JPS walked into the void areas of Birmingham where there's nothing of interest, building sites and wasteland areas. He missed the vibrant city center. Yeah. And that sucks. He probably should have known where to go before he went there. But, you know, it's just a young kid. He made a mistake. Not the end of the world. And I saw that a couple of those news articles shitting on him, which was funny, and I'm sure he handled it. I don't know. I didn't see any, like, you know, him talking about it or anything. Maybe he did at one point, but I didn't see it. I kind of figured he just kind of moved on and was like, well, I kind of fucked up there, and just moved on and didn't talk about it, which, you know, might have been the smartest thing to do, but who knows. How do you do, you muppet? Hello, lazy. Scarlet, yes, that's how you spell it, Scarlet, yes. It was founded by Lord Baltimore. It was founded by an English lord. Was he English? I can't remember. Yeah, let me look it up. Let's look up Lord Baltimore. I believe that, well, Maryland, the colony of Maryland, was founded as like a haven for Catholics. And Maryland is still the one state in the United States that's predominantly Catholic, I believe. Let me see. Lord Lord Baltimore. Yeah, an English politician. Cecil Calvert. There's also a county in Maryland named Calvert County, so that's probably named after him too. He was Lord Baltimore. Cecil Calvert, the second Baron of Baltimore, was born in Kent. How about that? He was born in Kent. Oh my god, his portrait. I gotta show you guys this. This is him. His portrait just reeks of child labor and slavery. Look at that. Look at that portrait right there. Like a little. He's like training a young little girl. It looks like, and it's got a slave child behind him. Jesus Christ.
Anything new on the Patreon stream? Hope you're well.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for the super chat. Nothing new on the Patreon today. I got to get back to work as soon as I end this live stream. Peter file. Maybe it reeks of that too. I don't know. That was a wild portrait. To have some little girl that you're forcing to study geography, and then, you know, young slave hand behind him. That's a wild portrait. Don't book, yeah, Lacey. Don't book him for your kids' theme party. That's for damn sure. That's a wild portrait. Usually they're all in, like, flamboyant clothes, and they're, like, doing something like this. Or whatever the fuck. And it's just them. But that guy, I mean, he really wanted, you know, children in his portrait for some weird reason. L.A. Knight is from Maryland. Yes, he is, Josh. You're right. Yeah. I can't remember where in Maryland did he say? I think he was from Hagerstown, Maryland, I believe. It surprised me how many places in the States are named after UK places. Actually, yeah, there's that Al Murray touched on this in one of his things, and it was like, you know, in the Northeast, it sounds like everything is named after places in Britain. But then the further south you go, the more they trail off into, like, Native American type names and stuff. So I thought that was very interesting, and he was spot on with that. L.A. Knight who looks like you, that guy. I don't look like L.A. Knight. Come on. That's his son in the picture? It looks like his son has a dress on. It looked like a little girl. Well, New York wasn't originally named New York. It was New Amsterdam, because it was originally a Dutch colony. And then the English... Did you guys take it as compensation for a war, or did you buy it from them? I can't remember. It was one of the two. Do you know about the TED TV show? Yeah, Queen Boomer's been watching that. I don't really care for it. I thought the movies were kind of funny, but they weren't great. That Tom Brady scene in the second one was hilarious, though. Oh, you mean the black kid in the portrait? That was his son? Okay. I don't know. I just thought it was a funny portrait. It was funny. It reeked of abuse. Oh god. And I don't know why he like decided like I'm gonna have these two young kids in my portrait and think it was a good idea. I'm LA Knight's younger brother. Yeah. Mima, I'm in Australia, next to Brighton. Colonizers aren't all that creative with their naming. Well, you know, that's the thing. If you found a colony, you get to name it what you want, right? Columbus did not discover America. It was Amerigo Vespucci. That is correct. That is correct. JPS once did a live stream where people sent their song requests and he reacted to them. It was a great idea. Really? And it didn't get taken down? That's the thing with live streams. You can't really play any like copyrighted music or stuff like that. You are at high risk of your stream getting taken down. Colonizers don't need to be creative. That's exactly right, Lazy. All right, Mr. Penis Hazelton, it was good to see you again. You have a great weekend, sir. The portrait is centuries old. How does anyone know who's in it? Yeah, that's true, robot. I don't know who those kids are. It looked like a funny portrait to me. I sometimes I have a sick sense of humor. Technically, the Vikings found North America first 1,000 years ago. Small settlement in Newfoundland. Yeah, but it's Canada, so it doesn't count. I'm just kidding. I love Canada, so don't hurt me, please. Have you ever thought about reacting to Only Fools and Horses TV show? Yes, I've been reacting to it on Patreon for a year. I'm on season 6. I just can't. Every time I upload an episode on YouTube, it gets blocked. Everything's getting blocked on YouTube. Lewis, hello. Thank you. Simon, are you still editing movies yourself for YouTube? Well, I don't have the time to do it now. You were trialing someone, if I remember. Yeah, I actually tried to get several people to edit my movie reactions for me for a reasonable price, and it didn't work out. They either sent back the reactions and they were shit, or I sent it to them and they just ghosted me and didn't respond after I sent them the files. So it didn't work out. Maybe I'll find someone in the future that can do them, but it's tough. Right now, I haven't even touched editing a movie reaction on YouTube in months. So, if I ever allocate time to do it again, I'll try to do it again. But in the meantime, ever since in the past like 6 months, I've probably got like 20 movie reactions done or something like that on Patreon. It's Laz. Okay, Laz. But it says lazy in her name. Who were more badass, the Vikings or Romans? An interesting question, White Dwarf. I mean, I'm biased. I'd probably say the Romans. I think the real question is who's more brutal, the Romans or the Vikings? Who was more brutal? That would be the question. I think the Romans were definitely more creative in their brutality, but the Vikings may have them on brutality as a whole. You know, because, I mean, one thing about the Romans is, like, even when they conquered a place and totally wreaked havoc, you know, after a while, after a couple they were like, you know, after the smoke cleared, they would be like, all right, now if you behave yourselves, in 2 or 3 generations, your children can become Romans, which nobody else did back then. So, I don't think the Vikings ever did that. They're like, no, we're the Norsemen, you're the prey. So act like the prey and keep your mouth shut. So, oh, okay, Laz, gotcha. I wonder what this says about us British that there's such huge call for reactions to our shows as opposed to other countries seeking this out. I don't think that's necessarily true. There's a lot of, I see sometimes I get recommended channels where there's some Brits reacting to American stuff and they get tons of traffic and views and requests and things. So I don't think that's necessarily true that it's exclusive to Britain. So there was one British guy I can't remember his name. I'll have to look it up in my subscriptions, but he reacts to American stuff and he has a blast doing it. And he gets like twice the views that I do. So the Romans were better strategically, the Vikings were just brutes. There's probably something to that. Romans definitely built a lot more, you know. 1,000 Roman soldiers versus 1,000 Vikings is an incredible fight. Well, I would take the Romans because the Romans they fought in formation and were very organized. Um, Vikings were more of, you know, they were more raiders. And I mean, it has happened, but there's not many like pitched battles with Vikings. You know what I mean? They kind of just show up, cause havoc, and leave. And if they do show up and stay, it's a progression. It's like slow progression. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm probably just talking out of my ass again. What's your family links to the UK? Good question. My British ancestors, um, they were English. There's only a small sliver of that blood in me left, though. But they arrived in South Carolina in the early 1700s. I want to say like 1720s or 30s. And they made their home in South Carolina. And generations later, they moved from South Carolina to Pennsylvania to get away from slavery, not because they were abolitionists or anything, but it was because they were farmers. They couldn't compete with the slave owning farmers who dominated the South anymore at one point. So around like the 1820s, they moved to Pennsylvania and continued to farm there for a while. So that's like the basic summary of my English heritage, which is not a lot of it left. Most of my blood makeup is Italian and Irish. And I know there's going to be somebody who's like, see, all Americans, they say, oh, we're Italian or Irish or whatever the fuck. No, I'm American. I just, I like to know where my ancestry came from because, you know, all of us came from somewhere here in the States at one point. If you go far back enough. Have you watched Shameless? The UK version is based in Manchester. No, I've watched the American version, which is it's okay. But Queen Boomer is a big fan of the American Shameless. But I've heard that there's a UK version. Weighing in on the Romans and Vikings, the Battle of Teutoburg Forest, the Vikings kicked their asses. Were they Vikings, though? I thought they were Germans. And the Germans tricked them. That was one of those battles where it was a total. They totally baited the Roman army to go in that forest, which was a brilliant move. And because the leader of the German, what was his name? What was it, Varus or something like that? I can't remember his Roman name that the Romans gave him, but he was born German and raised in the British Army, and then he switched sides to the Germans and taught them how to beat the Romans. It's a very interesting battle though. But I wouldn't have pegged them as Vikings. I would have said they were Germans. Yes, thank you, Craig, for listing some of the movies that I've done. Aminius? Was that his name? Yeah, that's right, Toby. You guys got invaded by the Romans and then the Vikings. And then you took the best of both worlds. And then it was your turn to rule the world. So how about that? Danny Dyer is related to King Edward? Really? Which Edward though? Weren't there multiple Edwards? There was like 4 of them, weren't there? And I'm not even, I mean, they were probably all related in some way, but I don't think it was a direct line of succession because of the War of the Roses. I don't know. This is all historical stuff that I need to brush up on. But anyway, it's been an hour and I gotta get back to work to get some reactions done for you guys. So thank you everybody for showing up today. It was good chatting with you. I hope you have a great weekend. And let's see, what do I have scheduled on YouTube? I think I have an IT crowd reaction scheduled for YouTube on Sunday. So Sunday, you guys will get to see that reaction. And it's a good one. I think it's the episode where Moss stumbles onto a news set, which was fucking hilarious. So, but thank you everybody. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll see you again soon. Whether you came here from YouTube or Patreon, it was good to see you. Take